everybody. Welcome back to the Damn Yankees podcast, produced by Seven Ashes Productions. This is episode 36. It's Tuesday, February 13th. My name is Megan. That is my brother Ryan. And over there is our baseball dummy and producer, Cliff.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. Do you want to tell everybody why you're sad, Cliff, or are we just going to move on?
I had a bowl of snacks here, and it's now all over the floor because I wasn't watching where I was flailing my arms.
You've been married to an Italian for too long. Sorry. All right. Well, I'm sorry that you don't have snacks.
Don't mind my cat. He's high on catnip right now.
Best kind of cat.
Anyway, we got stuff to talk about.
I mean, not really. There hasn't been a whole lot going on in baseball world. I mean, I think we can blame Scott Boras for that, but I guess we'll sort of talk about that later. Not really.
We didn't break our streak. We broke our streak last week of player signings.
Oh, so yeah. No news broke.
Must only be worth relief pitchers, I guess.
Yeah. No starting pitcher. It didn't work on starting pitching. I don't know. So we have some topics to talk about with the Yankees, some hot topics or whatever. Some things that could be on our minds.
Some hot goss.
I guess so. Carlos Rodon was interviewed. So it's, quotes, yay, quotes. And we're also starved for things that we're very excited about. Quotes from Carlos Rodon. Anyway, he said everything, he didn't have a good year last year. Everybody knows that. He fell way below expectations. He's supposed to be our number 2 guy. He was injured for more than half the year. And when he came back, he sucked. Had some couple of shining moments, but overall was not good.
Almost a 7-run ERA, I think, over just 14 starts.
14 starts, yeah.
64 innings.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Not
what you want.
So not what you want. So he did show up to camp. Not what you want. Joe, speaking of that, Joe G is back in the yes booth, everyone. So we might get to hear not what you want.
Oh, did you see the number of people who thought so? If for anyone who doesn't know about New York porch sports, they're a parody off of New York Post Sports.
It's gotten our producer once.
Yes.
I had to text you.
We had to text him very quickly. Take it down. I
didn't know. It looked legit.
Mm-hmm. And that's what it's supposed to do.
And so the porch basically claimed that in Joe Girardi's contract, he would get fined $500 anytime he makes a comment negatively against Aaron Boone. And all the comments were just flooded with like, "Oh, Yankees are so soft. This organization is so weak." There's
some people fall for the stupid.
I mean, that one's pretty blatant.
Yeah, sometimes they're often very blatant. If you look at it, you're like, okay, come on, that didn't happen.
Well, with the number of people who were complaining about it, I actually thought it was real. I didn't look at who posted. I just saw people were complaining about this, and I was like,
tweets or whatever.
That's kind of that's nuts. And then I read it again. I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't make any sense.
And I looked at it, I'm like, oh, everybody just got porched.
Yeah. There are some times when you because you don't read who's posting it first. You just kind of start reading the headline or whatever they've posted with the article, and so sometimes it'll get you what the, and then you look up and then okay, never mind.
No,
that's like Joe Rogan falling for that fake Boston Dynamics video.
Oh yeah, that was kind of funny.
That was great.
Yeah, do your research, folks. Like that.
Sorry, real quick. I was talking with Kelsey the other day about the other podcast thing I might do. And I was saying, I might rotate you guys out for different ones. So so you'll be like the Joe Rogan. I said, no. How dare you?
You were offended.
Continue.
Well, sorry. All right. Well, I think we're supposed to talk about the Yankees, so
Yeah.
Yes.
um
So
uh
more on Rodon, who did not
yes, that's what we were talking
pitch
about.
well.
Yeah, so
Um,
yeah.
he said everything that I feel like you would want somebody who was really bad to say. Just said, he's got a lot of work to do. I think the main quote
You
that
got a
keeps
lot to
going
prove.
around, got some stuff to prove,
Yeah.
is like the main quote that's been shared around. But there's some
Which
other
is yeah.
ones out there.
Yeah. There's some other ones that, you could, have people feeling certain things. I mean, so before that he did get to camp very early. Pitchers and catchers report tomorrow, so I guess that is the most exciting news. Tomorrow being February 14th
Yeah.
when this posts. But the Rodon showed up to camp in Tampa very early in January. He showed up a lot slimmer. There was a lot of comments last year about how much,
How much weight he had
how
gained.
much he had gained.
He
So
did say though he does not know how much he lost. He just
he just, yeah,
lost
I
it.
guess he just lost it. But
Apparently, he's been
he
running,
certainly looks
chasing
thinner.
kids around, as he said. What he attributes
Ah,
it to.
interesting. Okay. Um, what's the look?
That's just a very weird thing to say.
I
I
mean,
mean,
he's
it's
had the
just
kids
let me
longer
get
than a
that.
year, so it is a little
He
bit
said
weird to say. But
he joked he got there by chasing around his three kids, and later quipped that he only looked slimmer because he ditched his mustache, which we'll get to in a second. But that was
well,
the
who
full
knows? I
quote.
mean, everyone just today, or there was, one guy or someone on Twitter that decided that Aaron Judge was fat because the wind blew his shirt kind of out.
Bigger.
So maybe Rodon was having multiple of those occasions and he wasn't actually fat, but he showed up looking slimmer. He showed up early, so he is showing up to work. But
You wouldn't say that to Judge to his face.
no, I don't. I mean, I hope unless he's stupid, but I think he might be if he thought Aaron Judge was fat. So, um, anyway, so the quotes that you know the other quotes that he said was, "Listen, I'll be transparent with you. All of us are human. We hear everything. Now, whether that eats at you or do you actually listen and dive into it? That's a person by person basis. But you're eventually going to crack an egg when you hear it 1,000 times. I know I'm being transparent and honest. It is hard, but as a New York Yankee, that's our job to keep that shell tough. Good thing it was at the end of the year and I got to move on and forget about baseball and come back refreshed and let's start at it again." So that was when he was asked about outside criticisms, according to the New York Post article I am reading from. Um, so, um, so I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that quote. I like
To
that
me,
he's ready to go, but it concerns me that it sounds like those things were starting to get to him last year and he was only in for 14 starts.
yeah. Yeah, and I can see the concern. I feel like I don't know, maybe just playing um, uh, devil's advocate or whatever
Being
the
the
term
coach. Yeah.
is just he's ready to move on, and I don't know, like maybe he's recognizing, like for example, Cole let things get to him. It wasn't really the fans, but it'd be like things on the field had
Billy
gotten to
Crystal.
him. IKF booting balls in the
Yeah. Billy,
Billy
yeah.
Crystal
Billy Crystal being 4 minutes late or
4 minutes
making
later,
first pitch go 4 minutes
4 minutes
too
longer than
long.
it should have. Those are the things that like apparently like would bother him before, and he had to adjust. And he said last off season how he made all these adjustments, and I mean, not to say that that's specifically
No,
attributed to him winning the Cy Young, but I mean, I
he
think
clearly
last
had
year
a
he didn't get as rattled.
no, yeah, I think we talked about that a lot about how you could see the difference in his attitude. So you're right. Like maybe this is a good sign that he's recognized that
His
what did
shell
he
broke
say?
last year, and he
His
has
shell
to be
broke. He
tougher.
cracked an egg. Yeah, so he
That's
needs to
kind
be
of the way I
tougher. And
read it, but I can see the concern. But the way I read it was he cracked last year. He knows he shouldn't, and he knows he's got
yeah,
5 years here where they paid 5 more years here where they paid him quite a bit of money, and because he mentioned that too. He said, when they pay you, the amount of money that they've paid me, there's going to be a lot of time given to me, and I need to do my part.
Well, and he really does. I mean, he is saying everything he's supposed to. He does need to step up because Snell's still on the market, and
there's no real signs of anything.
No
needles
so we
moving
gotta
over there.
assume that the Yankees are done, and this is our starting rotation. So Rodon, you need to be a solid number 2, like they're paying you to be. So yeah, I hope that those are, so we'll see. You'll see how it goes. It's just like, oh, great. Like maybe, I don't know, maybe don't blow kisses right off the bat this year to the crowd, even though I didn't care about it. But like, let's just keep focused on pitching.
Yeah, I think if he can be tougher this year, and I think if he can, I definitely think that the injuries have a big part of it. I mean, he did not start off the year healthy.
Yeah.
Hopefully, with him coming in a little bit slimmer and him maybe starting his workouts a little sooner at the spring training facilities is a good sign for his health. He did not say any like the weird cliches of like, I'm in the best shape of my life, but he did. He did just basically, like you said, he said all the things you want to say. And then going back to it, he has gotten rid of the mustache.
Yes, he said it had bad juju.
Bad juju up in there. Or up in it. Is it bad juju up in it? I think it's bad juju up in it. So
gotta get rid of that bad juju.
Yeah, so, no more Rodon stash. He's out, or not. He's out, but his stash.
Well, then
is
I need Nestor to be, hold up the stash, like.
Yeah, there's not bad juju in the stash for Nestor, so
he needs to good juju for Nestor. Keep it. I need it back. I need you.
He just needs to be. He just needs to be more fun. Like he needs to have. Like he didn't think he had that fun.
I think maybe the
bit
pitch
of him
clock
last
kind
year
of got to him.
Got to him a little bit.
I don't know, or maybe he was just like worried about it, or which I don't know. But and then he had the injuries, so who knows? But yeah, he needs to be more fun. He needs to be looser. That's good, Nestor. You like good Nestor. So yeah, I mean, for the key thing for Rodon is going to be, let's make sure he can get a lot more than 14 starts, a lot more than 64 and a third innings. That would be extremely helpful and a great benchmark for Rodon
this season. Yeah, I mean, we talked about it last year that getting Rodon was a big step for this rotation. He was supposed to be the true number 2, so if he can get back to that, I mean, this guy had a sub-3 ERA in his 2 seasons with the Giants.
The Giants.
Well, it was like more like a half season, I think, but the first year, because I think he was with Chicago first. But anyway, his previous 2 seasons to the Yankees, he had a sub-3 ERA, very good numbers, Cy Young-like numbers, and I think he can definitely get back there. So hopefully that's the case.
Yeah.
Someone who is new that I don't know if he's ever had high numbers, but hopefully he does better with the Yankees, is our new left fielder or right fielder, or we don't know yet specifically.
Probably
fielder.
Left fielder, since Soto's not a great defender, but
yeah.
Is
Alex Verdugo.
Yeah. Or Doogie, I guess, is what
Doogie
people want to call him.
Yeah,
Doogie.
we talked about him. There's been a lot of discussion around where he'll bat.
Like teach me how to doogie?
No, you're such an old man.
What?
I love you.
Why do I try to participate?
I don't know. What? I love you. I don't understand what your problem is. Anyway, you asked the question. What we're trying to answer here is he a good hitter? Is he too selective?
Yes, I had the question. Like he's got the low chase rate, but does that actually mean he's a good hitter?
That's a good question because it made Ryan and I think. So
I think we did quite a bit of research, as one can do 10 minutes before the podcast into this. But I think a lot of the things that I've seen here, both. I mean, I didn't watch him much because he played for the Red Sox, so I try to not pay
No, we were
attention
making
to
fun
him.
of him. He's the one that missed the ball, like
Yeah,
behind it. We were
yeah.
making
Let's
fun of
not
him.
remember that. Let's not remember that anymore.
Hopefully that doesn't happen
He's
again.
we can pretend that that was not him. He's just a different Red Sox player.
Was that ugly guy with the scraggly red beard on his face? Definitely
But
doesn't play
yeah,
for the Yankees.
he one of the things that spotlighted a lot to me is a couple things. One, he which could be bad for Yankee Stadium is he is not a pull hitter. So being a lefty means that he'd be hitting to right field as a pull hitter, but he more hits down center most of the time. However, all of his home runs were to right field. So
Oh,
that is
well, that's
something
good.
to note. Two of his doubles last year, if he were playing at Yankee Stadium, now it does not
Oh,
specify whether those were at Fenway um, or somewhere else, but two of his doubles last year would have been home runs at Yankee Stadium, and none of his home runs would not have been a home run at Yankee Stadium. And that's because he hit all of them to right field. So when he
or
does
none of
get
them to
hit
like
for
Death
power,
Valley. Yeah.
when he does hit for power, they are to right field. But outside of that, most of his hits are to the center field. 54% of his hits or of his
Up the
contact
middle.
balls go up the middle. So that is something interesting for him. He also has high percentiles in the chase, whiff, and K percentages, though low, like just under mid average for walk percentage.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, as a
surprising he doesn't
leadoff,
walk enough, but
yeah, like he I don't know how often he will be the leadoff hitter. I guess whenever they want to put Judge second, they might do Verdugo as the leadoff hitter, left, right. Um, so, but as a leadoff, you want him to be able to you want that walk percentage to be higher,
yeah,
and
it's only 7.5%, which averages
yeah,
8.5%, which is surprisingly low for a guy who is selective, or I guess is
right,
a low chase rate hitter.
yeah. His whiff percentage is in 94, high
It's
mid
the
90
highest, yeah,
percentile.
94
Yeah, so he's
percentile.
he's one of the best in the league in that regard. So when he's swinging, he's making contact. It's just we want to make sure that contact results into an on base situation.
Yeah. And what a lot of this
um,
tells me that he is low in both strikeout percent, like he doesn't strike out much, but he also doesn't walk much. What that tells me is he's not getting to the point in an at bat where he has the ability to do either. Right. So he is
so he's swinging
grounding out.
early, or yeah,
Yeah. He's either swinging early. He's not making. He has very low barrel percentage. That's actually his worst savant percentile. Is his barrel percentage at 18 at 18th percentile. So what that tells me is he's grounding out or popping out because he's not finding the barrel in those swings, um, or getting
yeah,
like cheap hits. But he's not lasting long enough in the at bat to get a walk. Like he's not seeing four pitches in an at bat. Um,
There's a joke in there somewhere.
if you say so. um, yeah, and so as the leadoff hitter, these are not great. This is not a great. What am I trying to say? Like evidence
numbers.
for me saying that he should be the leadoff hitter. Um, I know that I looked and he had pretty decent numbers. I don't have them in front of me. I know but his on base percentage should be higher if he wants to be a leadoff hitter. I think we saw his career is like 324. As a leadoff hitter, it's like 331.
And Boone
You want
wants
that
him
to
to be at
be
350.
350 or higher, which is, yeah, that's fair. You're leading off in front of Soto. You need to be getting on, or Soto or Judge. You need to be getting on in front of them. That's the whole point. So that'll need to be better, which we'll see how spring training goes with DJ. I mean, it's probably why they're banking on DJ first, because when DJ is DJ, he is amazing at getting on base. Between walks or, making contact in the right situations, finding a hole. Weren't shifting on DJ LeMahieu before shifts were banned. So
What's interesting? Sorry, I really like Baseball Savant and how they do all their stuff. He is a changeup. He loves the changeup. 308 batting average there. Batting average on fastballs are 280. He really sucks though when it comes to a slider.
all right.
So nice. That was just
that's nice. So that splits it up like that. In a consumable way. Anyway, yeah. So we'll see with Verdugo. I think he has the potential to be a great on base guy, and he's a good contact hitter. We need contact hitters. We're always complaining that we don't have contact hitters.
Yeah. He does get a lot of hits, which even though his barrel percentage is low, he did seem to find the gaps. I know a lot of times when it comes to, that's why his ex-WOBA is low versus his ex-batting average, because a lot of his hits tend to be what maybe analytics would consider lucky hits, but he has been very consistent in his career to hit around that 280 line.
So he has a decent batting average. So
yeah, and I am looking again at this, so it'll be interesting to see what this means in Yankee Stadium. But maybe the reason why he never hit home runs to left field. Now, he did not play all of his games, obviously, just at Fenway Park, but it looks like a lot of his doubles came off of the Green Monster. So curious how many of those would be home runs at other stadiums, because the Green Monster is weird. You can either get a pop fly over the Green Monster that could have been an out anywhere else, or if you hit a line drive off the Green Monster, it would have been a home run anywhere else that's now a single or a double.
Yeah, because it just bounced in.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting to see what changes there. Obviously, again, he didn't play all of his games at Fenway, but when you look at his spray chart, there's a line of doubles across where the Green Monster would have lined up.
Makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, we're saying as a leadoff hitter, these numbers may not be good, but as a number 6, well, probably 7 or 8 hitter,
wherever he ends up, if it's DJ leading off,
it's not bad to have.
I think that I don't think he's too selective. To answer Cliff's question, I don't think he's too selective. I don't know if I want him to be more aggressive. We've got those aggressive guys in the lineup.
Yeah. Well, and it seems like he is sort of aggressive because he does swing.
He swings early, yeah.
And he swings early, and which and so I guess that's also a negative for leadoff. You want your leadoff hitter to
see
as many pitches. That's why Brett Gardner was such a good leadoff hitter. He saw he saw 11 pitches in at bat, and you were like, yeah, that was Brett Gardner. He was just at bat for So you want him to see more. So that's another negative, another con for him being.
And I've heard that before when it comes to Verdugo, is he does not see enough pitches.
Yeah, and I'm sure Soto, that's probably one of the reasons why he likes hitting third rather than second, is because he gets to see more pitches. So, he can watch,
what's going on.
What everybody else is, looking at. So, we'll see. We'll see what they do. See what maybe the Yankees have some good changes into Verdugo. I know we were always but who's their hitting coach? They just hired.
I think he was from Detroit.
New. That's right. And I saw him in Gleyber Torres's little YouTube video thing that he's been putting on. They were at he and Judge and I think Waldo were at a hitting clinic thing that he was putting on, and
James Rowson?
yeah, that sounds right.
Rowson?
Yeah, something like that.
He was
ROW Sutton.
Yeah, I think that's right. He was already working with a lot of the guys.
Good.
So I think that's cool. And I know that, a big part of what they wanted in him was somebody who played before and knew how to talk to the players. So at least that part seems to, I don't know, be starting off well. So maybe they can do some
Rowson,
magic.
47, rejoins the Yankees organization with 22 years professional coaching experience. The 2024 season will mark his 10th season on a major league coaching staff.
Very nice. Like, good announcer voice that you have.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, he was in the Yankees minor league system, I believe. And I think he worked with Judge or something, if I remember right. I'm going to be talking out of my ass. I don't remember. But I feel like I remember that.
Hey, I already looked up facts. I'm done.
Okay, you're done. You're done. That's fine.
Well,
I think they worked together in 2016. Anyway, so yeah, we've talked about this enough. We'll see. We'll see what Verdugo does. He might not be the best leadoff hitter. He might be a good bottom of the lineup, turn it over hitter.
But overall, I guess my point is that he's got what a lot of the other Yankee players don't, and that is good contact. I think we've got those high barrel percentage guys, the ones who strike out at everything, Stanton, and it's nice to have a guy who doesn't strike out. And we brought in a guy who does walk a lot, and that is Soto. So
true.
I think the Yankees have, say what you want about the offseason so far. I think that the pieces that we have brought in are pieces that we need. These players do things that our other rosters have not been able to do. Speaking of our roster and people who strike out a lot, Anthony Volpe, how is his 2024 going to look?
Well,
according to a lot of the experts out there, not great.
Not great. Yeah, according to Fangraphs, he looks like he's projected to do worse this coming year. His batting average is like 228, on base percentage 306, slugging percentage 408. Those are not good numbers. Where were we? WAR is 2.7, which is lower than his rookie season. I don't know why this is so low. I mean, I do think that it's fair that he's not going to like maybe be a breakout star, but I think he can improve. He won a Gold Glove last year, so I mean, just in that, I feel like his WAR should be higher. I don't know, but he's a great defender, and I know that doesn't account for a whole. I don't quite understand how they get WAR, but I know that doesn't count for a lot. But I think this is a little disrespectful to Anthony Volpe, even though he's only a sophomore.
I might tap Cliff in here because he put in that he found that the Athletic Jim Bowden had said that he's going to have a really good season. So maybe get the positive side. Cliff, what did you see there? Sorry to put you on the spot.
Now I got to turn my mic back on.
Find the article. Wasn't ready. Oh no,
I wasn't ready. But yeah, Volpe. Who was it that said that again?
The Athletic.
Jim Bowden.
Yeah, let me pull that back. Let me pull that back up.
Well, you do that. I just think that like Volpe, I don't know. A lot of these other projections I've seen, like on Fangraphs and others, kind of keep him just below. Like it's not like incredibly worse than last year, but last year wasn't great as far as an average. Like all the averages for the season went for Volpe. I think his second half was really good. Everybody jokes that it was that Parm game and Anthony Wells. He's got Anthony Wells all year this year. Austin, what did I say?
Anthony Wells. I
just
combined them together.
Yeah, so the whole quote, like he went on for a minute. So what he said specifically was that Volpe had a strong rookie season with 21 home runs, 24 stolen bases, 3.3 Is
War.
it war or W? War. We say war.
Say war.
Yep.
All right. 3.3 war. He hit just 209 and reached base at a paltry 28% rate. He played in front of the most demanding fans in the most difficult market for a rookie, and he did it with class while showing his work ethic and high baseball IQ. He keeps going. He did a great job of adjusting, and I think we'll fate. That's a typo. I think we'll fare better against breaking balls this season after really struggling against them last year. If he can get his average up to 240, 250, then his home runs could creep up to 24, 25, and his stolen bases could reach 30 or more. He scored 62 runs last season, but should get more this year. If he hits ninth for the Yankees, he'll have DJ LeMahieu, Juan Soto, and Aaron Judge batting behind him. He had a lot to say.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I think those are all
writing
good
for The
points
Athletic.
too. I mean,
Those are all excellent points because
Volpe should be number 9 in the lineup, and yeah, when you've got DJ LeMahieu here, you're hoping having a better season, or Verdugo behind him if he is leadoff. These are all guys who are improved based off of last year. Again, that's assuming DJ bounces back, but you also throw in Soto behind there. I mean, he should be scoring a lot more runs if he gets on base more, and I think that's the big if there. And that's where Fangraphs seems to feel like he's not going to do that. But I don't know why we would think he wouldn't. There's nothing last year to suggest that he got lucky early on and then he got figured out. Like his batting average graph went the opposite way. Like he was batting under 200 for a lot of the beginning of the season.
Yeah, and I mean, let's not forget that this rookie had 2 batting coaches last year, and the person who helped him the most was a rookie catcher, or not even a call up catcher. I mean, this is his rookie season.
Yeah.
So I think that plays an important role in the development of a rookie who did not get to play in AAA for more than how many games? I mean, he played like a handful of games down in AAA, right?
Yeah, it was at the very end because other people got, I think Peraza and Cabrera got called up from AAA.
They got called up at the end. So he like a couple of weeks in September he gets of experience in AAA, and then he basically jumps from AA to MLB,
Major League Baseball,
and so his learning curve was big. And I think haven't looked, but I think at the end of the year we all thought his ups and downs, like his downs got shorter.
Yeah.
You're going to have ups and downs all year, but towards his downs didn't last quite as long. And he hit 20 home runs as a rookie.
21, yeah.
21.
And he was stealing a lot more early on, and then they kind of got rid of it with him.
Yeah, they did.
Because he was on pace for like 40 or 50 early on in the season, then it kind of dwindled. But yeah, I think if he can get on base more, I think that's the biggest thing, is not striking out as much. I mean, his strikeout rates were very high. If he can, he's chased a lot, and I did not pull up his Savant page, but I'm sure he's on one of the lower ends of chase rate. I'm probably almost positive that. I'd be shocked if he wasn't.
He's in the middle. He's like 44th percentile, 28.
That surprises me, because I just remember watching games where they would throw a fastball past his face and he'd be swinging at it. So if
it's not good. It's like a light blue color. So
I expected it to be like 18%. Yeah, dark blue.
Gotcha.
But
I mean, anyway, his K percentage is like that.
Yeah, it's high.
19th percentile.
It's high. I mean, I think that Stanton is probably the only one higher.
Probably 27.8. Yeah, so that's got to get down.
Stanton's 30.
Like the breaking pitches breaking balls are hopefully he'll get them. This is what the Athletic thinks. He's not listening. It's fine. That is what the Athletic thinks. He's gonna.
Sorry, I was watching the time.
You're watching the Times.
Yeah.
Oh, are we?
We should have been 2 subjects beyond where we are right now.
Whoops.
Yep.
Well, all right. We think we have more faith in Volpe than
Fangraphs
most people do, except for maybe the Athletic. They Mr. Bowman. He thinks that
Bowden.
Yeah.
Bowden.
Bowden.
I don't know. Yeah, sorry, guy. But thank you for thinking that Volpe will do better this year. And I tend to agree. I think he has a lot more experience under his belt. He's shown up to work, and he'll. I don't know. I have faith that that smile will result into lots of good Yankee memories. Fingers crossed.
All right. So moving on to roster moves, I guess, even though we really didn't have much, just something earlier today. Before we get into what we made earlier today, this week, I guess there's been an uptick in rumors again with Dylan Cease. Again, last week, we saw the Orioles make a trade for Corbin Burns for two 25-year-old minor leaguers. Last week, we were on record for saying, why the heck did the Yankees not do this? We come to find out it's because the Brewers insisted on adding Spencer Jones to the trade, and the Yankees said, hell no. Look, I don't know much. I could be completely wrong about these 25-year-old minor leaguers. They might show up for the Orioles and be like rookie of the year candidates for all I know, but I think we can all agree prospect wise, these two cannot stack up against Spencer Jones. And so it's seemingly like the Chicago White Sox are in the same boat of wanting Spencer Jones or Domingo, or not Domingo. He's gone.
No, no one wants him.
Jason Dominguez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like anytime the Yankees come asking for a trade, the other team always wants our top prospects, and then when we say no, they end up trading them for
cheap.
I don't know,
somewhere
a couple
else.
of sorta MLB ready guys, like you don't know. I just that's very annoying. You hate to defend Cashman on some of these things, but it could very well be that sometimes when he goes to trade people, they're just asking for too much because we're the Yankees. And I believe that. I
do believe Cashman also has an issue with I believe Cashman has an issue with holding on to prospects too long. I mean, we've seen it with Miguel Andujar is a very notable one. We have Luis Gil, who should have been traded in 2020. Who's the one who went to the White Sox? Diego Garcia.
We have Clint Frazier. You have a number of failed prospects that Cashman put too much weight on and too much
and held on to him to a point where they had to waive him instead of trade him.
Did you already say that?
I mean, you could continue on, and Peraza is starting to get into that realm, which we'll talk about in a second. But yeah, I mean, so
I do.
It's hard to defend him, but at the same time, it's Spencer Jones.
Yeah, I get people who are like, so who cares? Just send Spencer Jones. Why do we care? It's like, well, right now, please remember 2023, we have very little outfield depth. Juan Soto is only on the Yankees for 2024 guaranteed at this moment. So, let's not give away all of our possible,
all of our chips,
depth for the outfield. So, I certainly understand why he's not included. And he's also not the only person they're asking for. The White Sox are not asking for a 1-to-1 trade for Spencer Jones for Dylan Cease. It's Spencer Jones and someone else.
Right. So, I mean, there's a few things in play too for the White Sox side of this. Is that one, the White Sox has to realize that Dylan Cease is not Corbin Burns. Corbin Burns is a former Cy Young winner. Dylan Cease is not that. He's a good pitcher, but I mean, he's up and down.
Mustache. Yeah.
He's up and down. He's not the most consistent of pitchers all the time, but I think he'd be a really good fit in our rotation. So if Burns is going for what he did, then Dylan Cease shouldn't be getting all that much more than that. However, what's falling in their favor is one that the White Sox, just because the Brewers made a shitty move doesn't mean the Brewers or the White Sox should also have to make a shitty move.
But remember that
and
even the
Cease
Braves
has
think that
another
they're
year.
asking for even the Braves
Too
think
much.
they're asking for too much. So we noted that last week that whoever they shouted at to get Dylan Cease, they're like, no, they're asking for way too much money, or we tried and they want too much for him. So it does at least seem to be that like the White Sox are also in the camp of like, what are they doing?
Yeah, because there was something else that came up with that they were asking for way too high of a price on. I do think that they're weighing heavily in on the fact that he's got another year of eligibility. They don't have to trade him. He's not going to be a free agent after this season. So why would they push for him to go out?
Him for and he'll be an excellent trade deadline piece as well. So he's in a position. They're in a position where they don't have to. So that's true. Like that, they can ask for a lot. So and I don't blame the Yankees for not sending Spencer Jones for either Corbin Burns or Dylan Cease.
Yeah, it just seems like the word that's going around, the phrase that's going around is Yankee tax. The Yankees were expected to give up Volpe for Luis Castillo or any other trade we were trying to make that year. And now that has shifted to Spencer Jones this year. Last year it was Jason Dominguez. So
in fairness, Seattle did have to give up quite a lot.
They did
for Castillo,
but it wasn't Volpe.
It wasn't Volpe. Our pride and joy that Savant thinks is going to be anyway. So yeah, that's the not move on the roster, on our roster moves section of our podcast.
The move was The move was
picked up
sorry.
Third baseman Jordan, how do you say his name?
Groshans.
Yeah,
Groshans.
I can't read the screen. So they picked him up off waivers from the Marlins. He was a top prospect or highly drafted prospect
at one point.
Whenever he was drafted, I don't know.
Looks like he was a September call up last year.
Okay, so it's nothing. No one that's star.
Nothing to write home about.
Right. The thing that I think that caught Ryan and I's eye is just that they've invited a lot of infielders to spring
and they're
training.
Interested in more.
Yeah. So does that mean that they don't have confidence in Peraza? I mean, I think we've been hinting that we have no idea what they think about Peraza because not hinting.
Well, they won't even talk about it.
They haven't talked about Peraza, so he just doesn't seem to be in their plans. I did notice in the New York Post article that we were reading about Rodon, they have the depth chart and they have Peraza in there as the third second baseman.
Quick side note: Groshans.
Groshans.
Okay.
Groshans.
So who's number 2? Oh, DJ.
DJ.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess that's not like a very far away third bench or whatever, third option. But
is he second in third base?
Yes.
Okay. That makes sense because I was like, I can't really think of anybody who else is playing third.
Yeah, I didn't even see, and he's the second in shortstop. Okay, so I guess my eyes just kind of looked over. There's too many Oswald and Oswaldos. I smushed Oswaldo into a lot of where Peraza is listed on here. So so he is listed second. I was like, why is he only listed
at second base?
Third depth on second base. Okay, that makes much more sense. Sorry, my eyes are. Maybe need to go to the doctor. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, but they haven't talked about him, and I'm just very frustrated. He only has one option left. I do not see the Yankees keeping Peraza up all year. I think Peraza is probably better than being a backup second baseman and backup shortstop on a different team.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things when it comes to Peraza that we've been saying it for over a year. Just move him. If again, this Jordan Groshans guy is not the guy to.
Sorry, Ryan, but I can see on another website they claim it's Groshans. So
we have no idea how to say
no
No
one knows
idea.
how to say his name, and that's the point. Is no one knows this guy. He's not going to be the guy who is better than Peraza. That's not what we're saying in the slightest. It's just they have brought in this guy. They have brought in Jeter Downs. They have brought in Kevin Smith. They have brought in a lot of these guys. They've even invited in infielders, non-roster invites.
Caleb Durbin is a shortstop. We've got who else? Jordan.
Yeah, he was a trade for something last year.
Yeah, Jeter Downs. You've Rumfield. He was invited to spring training. We've got
The
several
Vivas that we got from the
Right.
Dodgers. It's just very
being invited. So it is
odd movements going on there. Again, I don't think any of these guys are better than Peraza. It's just odd.
And to say that, like, they do invite people that have no intention of putting in the roster,
right?
During the year. Of course, Spencer Jones is invited to spring training as well this year. I mean, so I'm not saying, and again, it's just, I don't know.
It would be different if they said. It would be a lot different if they had said, when they're talking about all of these plans with all these different players, and they said, yeah, and our plan for Peraza is to be this specifically.
Yeah,
he is going to be our guy who gives everybody else rests.
Yeah, because none of these guys are prospects. None of these infielder invitees are prospects like Spencer Jones is. Like, from what I know, these people have all played in, maybe not all of them. Several of them have played in the major leagues before, like Jeter Downs.
Right.
So, yeah,
it's odd. I wish that they would tell us what's going on with Peraza.
What the hell's going on with Peraza? I'm just afraid that they're just. Well, I guess they can't, right? Like, how does it go? So he's got one option, which means if he starts the season in MLB, starts it on the starting roster or whatever,
he keeps his option. But if he is moved down at all, like if they do not decide to keep him on the major league roster after spring training, his option is gone.
So if he starts the season in minor league baseball in
options
AAA, gone. Options gone. So then he get called up, and then the next move is they have to DFA him.
Right, which would be ridiculous.
So yeah, that is ridiculous. So I bet if they don't trade him, he's going to start the season on the bench, major league, like on the bench, right. up in the majors, like.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe their thinking is, and they're just not going to say it yet. Is that maybe they don't have confidence in DJ LeMahieu staying healthy, or Rizzo staying healthy, or something, and that he will become a regular starter based off of our injury history. Which that is fair because
they don't know if they can trust Waldo either. I mean, that he didn't have the best end of the season, didn't have the best season, full season last year. So it was sent down to AAA several times, if I remember right. So I mean, so maybe it's just that they don't know who their roaming infielder,
All right, welcome back. Sorry about that. It's going to just look like a weird technical difficulty thing or difficulties where we just glitched into this, but
So hopefully we finish talking about Peraza in a good way because we're moving on. We said everything we could say about Peraza anyway. The only other thing we had on our list to kind of talk about was what's up with Snell and Monty. Nothing.
It's basically the same thing. Montgomery. No other teams have offered Snell. I don't know about offers to Monty, but Yankees are still the only one.
Nothing that's been reported, and so
well, people seem to think that because Toronto hasn't spent any money, they might be saving up to make a bid.
Yeah,
I don't know about Snell, but
they may not be. Maybe not Snell, but Cupholders. They were on that. They announced today that everybody was asking for it, coming to Rogers Center in 2024. Cupholders in the new 100 level bowl. So apparently that is what Toronto fans wanted, was Cupholders. So
they need somewhere to put the Molson, the beer, the Canadian beer.
Yeah,
maybe. I mean, it'd be a great move for them to. It'd be a great move for them to tomorrow announce that they have signed Bellinger to some Like
That would certainly be a
JK.
big like foot and mouth moment for me and several other Yankee fans that are like,
By
we can get
cup
a lot of these
holders, we
guys.
meant by cup
Snell.
holders, we meant Snell, or we meant Cody
Bellinger.
Bellinger.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Bellinger makes sense for the Blue Jays to go there. I don't really, other than Scott Boras keeping high. Don't know why Bellinger hasn't signed with Toronto.
Toronto or any other team. I mean,
Or any other team.
I
I
think
don't understand.
Bellinger could really end up with. I don't think he ends up with the Giants now, but I think the Cubs or Toronto, I think makes sense. Going back to Snell, I think Snell's options are pretty limited as far as who can offer the money and who he would want to go to. The Yankees, I think, have both things, that they have the money, just not the money he wants, and it's a place he would want to go to. I think that the Giants could be a place he wants to go to, just not sure if they're going to put that money toward him, but they could. I mean, they wanted to put a lot of money towards Judge. And then I think one of the teams that really wants him has the money, but he doesn't want to go to, is the Los Angeles Angels. Same with the Red Sox. They just don't have the money either. And I think that's it as far as like teams that would be interested. I don't think anybody wants to sign him at the money. We talked about this last week. No one wants to sign him at the money.
He's certainly the money plus years that he wants. I know clearly nobody's going for it. Boras is playing chicken with 30 teams. Well, I mean, in theory, 30 teams. And nobody is flinching, which I find, funny and also sad that the reigning Cy Young from the NL is not signed on the day before pitchers and catchers are supposed to report for most
pretty
clubs.
Crazy.
So I mean, I think that's bad for baseball. I do, if Scott Boras is pushing for there to be a signing deadline in baseball, then I feel like this might do it. I mean, we've got several big stars not signed, so it's just odd. Not normally like this. And you mentioned the Red Sox with Snell and trying to remove any bias against them. They just don't seem to be making those kind of moves this year. They don't.
I mean, as Cliff mentions here, is that they have more front office additions than they do.
I mean, a notable front office addition that they have is Theo Epstein, which
which is brought back, isn't he? Isn't he there before?
He was responsible for the 2004 that won, and so Theo Epstein, but he's part.
But they haven't done anything yet,
right? And
he's part of Billy Bean's tree.
He's supposed to be. He's higher up or something, or he's part of baseball operations or something. I don't remember, but he's
part of Billy Bean's scouting tree.
Right. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Just like in what they hired him for the Red Sox was like not a player acquisition position. Like he's not in charge of that, but he's supposed to be a voice being heard and blah, blah,
Gotcha.
blah. I mean,
he was also notably in charge of the Cubs when they won their World Series.
Right. That's right. So he was like a curse breaker. So I mean, he's a good pickup for the front office. It's just very odd. I mean, if you want to dispel any rumors that the Red Sox don't care about improving their team this year, I guess getting Theo Epstein is a good move. But they haven't really improved their team on the field. So I just don't see them going for Snell.
Right.
But he's of the likely teams. I think they're the least likely, even less likely than the Angels.
Yeah, I think the Angels have a better chance just because they have the money to offer him, and they could give him the biggest deal. I mean, I think that's a career suicide move for you to go to the Angels.
Sure.
That's just my opinion. I mean, they're a dumpster fire. Look at what happened. I mean, Rendon, again, we talked about him before. I mean, he doesn't really enjoy baseball, but I mean, look at his career. He goes there and it goes down the tubes. I mean, a lot of that's on him, but I don't see it. Trout is hopefully one smart day away from asking for a trade away from the Angels, and they lost Ohtani. Like, there's no point in going there.
Well,
Yeah, so I mean,
they just need Danny Glover to coach and a kid to make a wish, and
there you go.
yeah,
Joseph Gordon-Levitt, get on out there.
that
Yeah.
was Joseph
It
Gordon-Levitt.
was Joseph Gordon-Levitt. That's how old we are.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure the Red Sox are going to be a last place team
Yeah.
again. I mean, that's where they've been. They didn't really do anything new. They have like
I mean, they got worse. They lost Justin Turner.
they
I
lost
mean,
Justin Turner. They lost Verdugo. They
and
added.
they
Didn't they
extended
add Greg
Devers, right?
Weissert?
Yes, they added Weissert. That's right. I forgot
Which
about that.
Weissert was basically a bottom of the rung
Yeah, he
bullpen
was an
guy
up
who
and
bounced
down.
back. Yeah,
Yeah.
like it really is. I mean, I liked Greg Weissert. He just wasn't a big loss. He's not a big
Yeah.
addition.
Yeah. He wasn't.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Um.
I think that they're a last place team. It just doesn't. They lost Chris Sale too, though that actually might help them. The way he's pitched in recent
True.
years. So yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about speaking of Justin Turner and the Blue Jays. They signed Justin Turner. They also signed IKF.
Yes.
So unless they get a guy like Snell, which I don't see Snell going there, but Bellinger does end up there, which I think could be a good fit for him.
Did did Kiermaier sign anywhere?
I'm not sure
I don't remember that happening. I was just wondering because I know that.
because that was a big Yankee center fielder conversation early
Yeah,
on.
everyone was like, "We're not going to get him." Which I mean, we're not going to get Soto. We're going to get Kiermaier. I just know it. I'm like, I wouldn't like be a terrible. It's no consolation, but it wouldn't be like the worst move if we got both. That would have been cool. I think I remember we talked about that, and then he could just be back up to Jason Dominguez later.
Looks like he re-signed with Toronto.
Oh, okay. So they're less hard up on outfielders than I was thinking.
Yes, he re-signed with Toronto.
Okay.
Yeah, and so outside of he signed for a 1-year deal, $10 million with the Blue Jays.
Hmm.
So they bring back Kiermaier. They add Justin Turner and IKF to their infield. I mean, I think IKF is going to have. I joked before the game, like we're going to have a weird game where both Cole and Toronto's pitcher are going to be throwing shutout games. The Yankees can't hit for crap on the day that Cole's throwing gas, and IKF walks up and hits a home run to end it. Like that's just going to be the Yankee way.
Yeah. Boone doesn't want to let him have the complete game, so he takes him out and puts in Clay Holmes, and he gives up a home run to
Yeah,
That's the Yankee way. Yeah, Cole pitching the 9th inning isn't going to happen. That's going to be
no. We're not winning.
That's going to be Clay.
like I said earlier, Ryan, that's some like Super Bowl level scripting there.
Super Bowl level scripting.
Yeah.
They script the Super Bowl.
According to some people.
According to some people.
Yeah, I mean, Toronto's going to be exactly who they've been. I mean, I know that Mr. MLB The Show cover is saying again about how different this year is going to be. He's starting to become a broken record with that because I thought that the movie was supposed to be 2 years ago.
Yeah.
The sequel was no better.
Album. It's never happening.
Yeah, I was going to say the sequel was no better. I don't know if the third one is going to be any different. So
yeah.
I mean, it's pretty sad for Toronto when your biggest moves are Justin Turner and IKF, Cupholders, and a MLB The Show cover.
Yeah.
So, also looks like LG was right. We could not stay under 45 minutes today.
Not at all.
I knew we wouldn't.
Well, yeah,
like I knew
whatever.
this.
You gave us to talk about, so
we were hoping,
really. But
Yeah,
I mean, we'll see we can.
And we went through all of this, and tomorrow we're gonna find out before the pod hits that like Toronto made some huge move.
Yeah, they're gonna make
And
us look
our
like
whole pod, we're just talking about their
huge foot in mouth. I'm sure it's
yeah.
fine. This
All
is
we're
how
talking
this
about
works.
is cup holders.
Oh yeah, I mean,
This is how
yeah,
this works.
they signed Cody Bellinger. The Red Sox go and sign Blake Snell and Jordan Montgomery, and we just look like complete assholes.
Yeah, dumbasses. Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Alternate takes reacting to that.
No. I hate the Blue Jays. Like the Blue Jays are like, I don't hate them, but they're so annoying that I just want them to shut up. Like it's just like I don't know. They're just very like they think they are so much better than they are, and I think that's what annoys me.
And it's a lot, and it's the players too, because I feel like the fans aren't that way. The players
fans aren't
just
that way, actually. Yeah, like
Well,
I think Blue
the
Jays
fans
fans
are
are pretty
Canadian.
decent, the ones we've met. But like, yeah, the players are just so annoying. Like, just entitled to something that they've never had. I'm sure that's what people think about the Yankee fans and Yankee
You know what?
players, but
It's that
they haven't
is
won
that
in so long.
is that French influence.
Maybe it's
Yeah.
that French
Damn
influence.
French.
The French that French Canuck.
Sure. I don't know. It's like they're just I hate the Red Sox and the Astros more, but they're just so much more annoying. Like just that it doesn't go away. And
Another team that's been
This is
kind
gonna
of
make-
odd.
This is gonna make a good reel, by the way.
oh no, I'm gonna get so much hate.
Well, another team that's been a really odd offseason is the Rays. They've the one big acquisition they've had is not complete yet, but that's Phil Maton, relief pitcher who the Yankees were in on. But outside of that, they've traded for a couple like small players who played like half a season last year, signed a couple guys in that same kind of category. But that's kind of what the Rays do. So it's going to be interesting to see what the season holds for them. I feel like every year I look at their roster and I'm like, no, they just traded off. I mean, they traded off Tyler Glass now, who is a top end guy for them. They lost child predator Wander Franco.
Yes.
Who I am glad is
Gone.
finally arrested and gonna find justice for all that stuff. But anyway, like you look at their roster, and outside of a couple of big stars like a Rosarina, Shane McClanahan, their roster never looks deep, or it never looks deep with stars, but it's always deep with players that they can fill in and do those roles pretty well. Unlike the Yankees, where you lose a guy and
all of a sudden the depth is
the
there.
roster is just gone to. So I mean, we said like I felt this way about the Rays last year, and they won 99 games.
True.
So do I think that they're going to be good with this roster?
They probably don't have the same kind of year they had last year with their how many games did they win before finally losing? Like 13 or 14. Yeah. So I mean, I doubt they get off to the incredible start but I feel like you can never count the Rays in the bottom anymore.
They manage games very well. And I think it's one of those things too where they don't manage it well enough when it comes to the postseason, as we've seen.
But regular season they
certainly do very well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean it's interesting. It's one of those things too, like when just finishing, we just joked about the Super Bowl being scripted and all this stuff. But, like, to me, the Rays are a similar team to, like, that of the Bills of a team that always gets to the playoffs. They manage the regular season very well. They either win their division or get a wild card spot. And then they get into the playoffs and they blow it. Whereas like Houston is basically like the Kansas City Chiefs, where they have I hate to say it, but when you look at the comparisons between the two, it sucks how close they are. The years where they feel like last year, like we felt like it was a bad year for them, and they go in.
Yeah,
I mean, they don't win the World Series last year, but they go in and they can still. It's a tough series for Texas.
Yeah.
Like it was the World Series was really played in the ALCS more so than the World Series.
Yeah, that was certainly a more like dramatic and dramatic game or dramatic series than the World Series was. But yeah.
Kitty made his opinions heard.
Yes, he doesn't like the Astros either. So
yeah,
yeah, I the Orioles they have improved, and so they're going to be probably a force to reckon with. I mean,
they should be. I mean,
all their young stars have more experience. You would think they would be.
Outside of slumps, big drop offs of production in some of these guys. Again, a lot of people felt like they got lucky in a lot of games last year. They did lose their closer for the season.
For Tommy John, right?
Yeah, I think, but he's injured for the year. So,
and he was not to say that them obviously last year. Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's a big.
Not to say that makes him breaks, but it is a big loss, and so we'll see what happens. I think that they're the team to beat. Like they should be the standard. I mean, the Yankees should be the standard every year, just as my own Yankee bias is. I think the Yankees are going to be a lot better team than they were last year. Again, that could just be my bias, but the Orioles are without a doubt number one team.
In the East or in baseball?
AL East. I think the Astros and the Rangers, we'll see what happens next year, but those two teams, I think, are going to be the top of their groups, especially if Monty goes back to Texas. But just remember, that was a team that didn't have Jacob deGrom outside of the first week, first month. So they're going to back Jacob deGrom. If they bring back Monty, that rotation, if Adonis Garcia is still raking the way he was, it'll be a pretty tough year on that side of things. But I think in the AL East, the Orioles are the standard. That they are the team that when you go and play those series, you got to win those series. Like those are the important series of the season when it comes to Baltimore.
Yeah. So we'll exciting to see how spring training starts shaking out for us and some of these teams, and we'll see how that goes.
It's 1 week away
from spring training.
A little over a week away. Yeah, for spring training.
Yes, a little over a week, like 10 days away. Right, my birthday. So yeah, the first spring training game is on my birthday. So yeah, I'm just. But yeah, so I'm very excited about that getting started. Was excited to see Yankees on baseball field today. Pictures of Yankees on baseball field. I couldn't get that out. So that was nice to see.
I am also excited to completely lose control of the television for the next few months.
Oh yes, I know you love that. for the next several months, that all that is on TV is baseball.
As it should be.
Yes, it's baseball season, dear. It's the best season.
Well, how many blackouts are there going to be that we can't use the app that we got special to watch?
You'll know about it. I'll scream about it. It's fine. All right.
Well, sorry.
I was going to say, let's work on our reach so that like MLB actually notices us, so we can start.
They don't care. They don't care.
There's been plenty of big ones.
Podcasts have said this.
Like, oh, what are you gonna do?
Baseball is dead. John Boy Media, like they all yell about how
stupid it is.
This is so stupid. Like, this is killing baseball.
Oh, it's so sad.
Yeah, and no,
they're wiping their tears with
Rob
their
Manfred
billions of dollars.
To it. Yeah, exactly. They don't give a crap.
So
anyway,
follow us on Instagram, on Twitter, otherwise known as X, whatever it's called now, at @DamnYanks_pod. Follow us on Facebook at @DamnYanksPod. Threads is also the same as Twitter and Instagram. if you are there, and then keep track with us on Spotify. Hit the like and subscribe button on YouTube as well, to keep up to date with everything Yankees.
Yeah.
Also, if you
Hopefully.
find Ryan on the socials, tomorrow is his birthday.
Oh yeah. Or the day this is
Well,
posting. So
yeah, or
today is his
today.
birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Ryan.
We're actually
Hey.
only like 30 minutes away from a birthday.
That's
too.
true. Your birthday is very close. Yeah, so
Yay, I
last
still
year in
have to
his
edit.
20s. It's getting old.
Last year. I don't like it.
Oh, it's all right.
But
30 is not bad. All right. Well, happy birthday to Ryan, and we will see you next week.
see ya.